can a rationally and logically thinking person benefit from the practice of meditation? I think the answer may surprise you. Stick around and we'll talk about it. Hello, my name is Rick Sundstrom, and I'd like to welcome you to Journey Beyond Belief. Today, we're going to be talking about the concept of meditation. Now, maybe you're familiar with meditation because it's, one of the main elements of Buddhism or some other Eastern type religion or spiritual practice. And you think, well, that's great. I can see maybe how that might be beneficial, but it's maybe a little bit too weird or spiritual. It's like a monk or something sitting in the lotus position and chanting Om, or it just seems like it could be a little bit weird or off-putting to people who are more logically or scientifically orientated. And one of the things that Journey Beyond Belief that's important is we allow people the opportunity to explore the wisdom or the benefit of some ideas that maybe are grounded in religions or spiritual type practices, and see if they can't be useful to a more rational person. And meditation, I think, is one of those concepts. For me personally, I look at the concept of meditation not even as not as really a spiritual practice, but just as a way of training your brain to focus, to be able to shut off the chaos and to really train yourself to focus in on what matters, to maybe help defeat stress that's in your life, and in general, just to get your mind to quiet down and really concentrate on what is needed at the time. And who doesn't need more focus? Who doesn't need to be dialed in when you need to be dialed in? Another thing is, even on maybe on a more spiritual level, and if this makes you uncomfortable, I apologize in advance, but I also believe that meditation can help the more creative types, whether maybe you have a job that involves writing or maybe a hobby. It's not always related to a job, or if it's a hobby or a side project or a passion that involves like creative type things, maybe like songwriting or just writing in general, or painting, or for me, even computer programming has some problem solving elements to it that involve creativity. And I've found that the concept of meditation can help put you in touch with more of the intuitive and the creative side of your brain, and allows solutions sometimes to just come to you. And it's kind of cool because it helps you to quiet down all of the clutter and the noise, and it just allows the creativity to flow. So at least that's how it's worked for me. Let me tell you a little bit about what I do, and maybe it'll help, I think, demystify, maybe even despiritualize a little bit the concept of meditation. Now, like I said, I have tried it. I tried some of the flat out Buddhist type things, or the more spiritual type meditations, and they were okay. I mean, I found them beneficial, but at the same time, I wasn't completely comfortable with them, and it didn't really work for me. It wasn't really who I was. So what I did is, like, what works for me? I looked at meditation in a little bit of a different way, and I said, what works for me to help my brain quiet down? Now, the concept of quietening my brain down might mean a little bit different to me than it is for you, because as an adult, I actually went to a psychologist, and I was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder because I had some difficulties with some things, and I was tested and officially diagnosed. But I thought, well, hey, I had already learned behavioral strategies because at that time, I was successful in school. I was the valedictorian of my high school class. I completed a college degree. And in fact, even a technical college degree later on in life. I earned a computer science degree online. So, I learned behavioral skills to help to quiet my brain down and to help me focus and to help me to complete tasks. And when I started to think about it and consider it, I realized that in reality, some of the things that I was doing to help me to function more normally or to focus or even to unlock some of the creativity that's inside of me, I realized that, wow, some of these strategies that I was using to combat my ADD were actually, they could be considered meditation. Now, you don't have to be dressed in a robe and shave your head and say Om to meditate. Anything that you do that quiets you down and just allows you to be and to see more clearly and to concentrate is really meditation. Now, for me, what really helped was listening to music. I would queue up a playlist on YouTube or whatever music source that I had, and sometimes I can just sit and just allow the music just to wash over me. Just turn off my mind, don't think about anything else, and just feel the music. And depending upon what kind of mood I was in, different types of music would be more appropriate. Sometimes a more sunshiny type pop song is appropriate when you just want to feel more cheerful, or something that's a little bit more angsty or a little bit more dark. It just feels right. Some just different styles of music, whether it would be pop or rock or even rap or different types of things, would feel right for the moment. And it's hard to explain. For me, it even helped me a lot of times tap into my intuitive side or my artistic side if I was doing things like writing or painting or whatever it may be, or even programming. And it just helped me to dial in and to focus, because what I choose to do was just to let the music just sit there, and I just use that as a focal point to turn off all the busy thoughts, to just basically say all of the outside stuff just needs to go away, and I just focus on the sound. I focused on the sound of the music and just allowing the music just to wash over me like a waterfall. And you could just, sometimes you could even feel the intent of the artist when they wrote that song. It's pretty cool. Music does have power. I've always loved music. I don't know how many times if you've heard a song come on the radio or in your playlist, and then it just instantly, bam, brings you back to a certain memory or occasion when that song was playing, and it just unlocks things. It's a very powerful thing. But to me, just concentrating on the music and just letting the music wash over me, it's the same thing as other types of practices. Like maybe they would say, you just concentrate on your breathing, or you concentrate on feeling what your finger is feeling, and then the next finger, and whatever it is that you're focusing on. I used music to take away the clutter and the distraction. Some of the meditation techniques might involve breathing or focusing on different parts of your body, or whatever it is that it teaches you to concentrate, to be more mindful, and basically sharpen your brain. Now, maybe music doesn't work for you. Maybe the breathing techniques do. Maybe you don't. Maybe the spiritual sounding stuff techniques turn you off. But maybe you're a nature person. Maybe you like to take walks. Maybe just even taking a walk in the woods and just listening to the birds or listening to the wind blow through the leaves or something like that. Just allowing that to turn off the clutter and just letting your mind focus, training your brain to turn off the clutter and focus in. And then when you're in a situation where it's required, you just turn off the clutter and allow your brain to focus on the task at hand. And it's really a very valuable tool to teach you to concentrate, and whatever works for you. I'm just here to tell you that there's no science to it. Now, I'm not an expert in meditation, but really, even if, who's to say that we always have to, listen to an expert in meditation? You find something for you that works to quiet your brain. For me, music, concentrating on that sound and letting it wash over me, that works. Maybe that won't work for you. Like I said, maybe it's the walk in the woods. Maybe it's knitting. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's sitting and focusing on your breathing. Whatever will work for you that allows you to shut your mind off, get rid of the clutter, and just to focus in on that moment. And I think personally that it's revolutionary. It's life-changing. Now, even when I think back to when I was involved in Christianity and I was a pastor, there were many times when I would pray, but as I was praying, I often would listen to music. Now, at that time it was music that was religiously themed. It was like worship music in the tradition that I was in. But I found that my most effective prayer or meditation time involved music, because the music helped me to shut off the clutter in my brain, and it just allowed me to focus. And in that case, it was focusing on spiritual things. But when I abandoned my religious tradition and everything crumbled, you can, if you want to hear the story about that, I have a link into the video about Welcome to the Not Church. If you haven't heard about the Not Church and the different things that we're trying to do, you can watch that there. The link's in the description. But I found that even after I kind of walked away from religion, that music still helped me to focus, to, in this case, to meditate. And it still helped to train my brain. It still helped to make me focus in times when I needed to. And it's nice because you can take music with you wherever you go. If you're writing someplace and you're working, whatever you're working on, I mean, headphones and a smartphone, and you got yourself some music, and it doesn't disturb the people around you, and there you go. Well, anyway, I don't want to go too long on it. Give it a thought. Give it a try. I think meditation is a wonderful tool, even though, maybe it's from a more spiritual type of a background. I definitely think it can be a benefit to logical, rationally thinking people. I don't think you have to. If you want to embrace the spiritual elements of it, I think that's wonderful. I don't have any problem with that. But if you're also a person that says, I don't really want to embrace the spiritual elements of it, I still think that meditation can be a practice that's very beneficial and can be very powerful in helping you focus on real logical tasks, and also to help you unlock your intuition, creativity in more artistic types of tasks as well. Well, anyway, let me know what you think about the concept of meditation, and if maybe you've tried it yourself, tell me some of the ways in the comments, or perhaps you'd like to join our Facebook group. The link is also in the description down there in the box, and it's a private Facebook group for Journey Beyond Belief, the Not Church. Again, the link is there if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Not Church, but just join our group and maybe start a post and say, hey, this is a way that meditation has worked for me. I really enjoy it. This is what works for me. Start a discussion. That would be awesome. But anyway, whether it's in the YouTube comments or in the Facebook comments, I'd like to hear what you think. And I appreciate your time, and I thank you for listening to this video. If you've enjoyed it, hit it. Give me a like. Give me a subscription. and and you'll be able to hear some of the other thoughts that I have to share in the videos coming up in the future. So thanks again for being here and joining us on Journey Beyond Belief, and I hope you join us again for the next video. Thanks.